Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Annie Creativity. Lately, I've been working mostly in my comp book, so I just wanted to give you another update of my comp book for Comp Book 2020 by Dede Willingham. And today we're going to be working on a page of Robert E. Howard. So today I'm going to show you just the process of working on one of these pages. And if you enjoy this video and this concept of doing the in process pages, let me know and I'll try to do more videos like that. And if there's something that you don't really care for, I can scale back as well. Just let me know what you would like to see on my channel based on the different things that I'm working on currently, which is the comp book, it was the mass scavenger book, and my glue book. So those are the main ones I'm working in right now. So if you want to see more of certain things, list that below and I'll try to see if I can do some videos on those specific things that you were asking about. And also little things here and there that I may want to share with you guys along the way. So how are you guys getting along with your comp books? I'm really enjoying this. It's been very fun to work on it. I think I'm going to do a couple more offer profiles and then maybe I'll do some TED Talks or pick apart some writings. Like I might find a couple different writings from offers and, write on the sidelines of what I enjoyed from it, what I got from it, or what things that I think they may have been talking about or that sort of stuff. So I'm also thinking about doing something like that. But for now, I'm just doing a couple offer profiles and just digging into them a little bit more. And here I'm just trying to work out the layout of the page. Instead of doing it right away, which I was doing before, trying to really piece together how I want the page to look. And this is an approximate of how it comes together. I do change it up a bit towards the end, but for the most part, it stays in this way. He wrote in the letter, "I have no fear of the hereafter. An orthodox hell could hardly be more torture than my life has been." He wrote this to a letter to Clyde in July 1925. I think this quote from his letter is very telling of his internal struggle and dealing with his mother's illness and depression and lacking control over his life. It's kind of telling about his influences as an author internally. And it just kind of stuck out to me when I was reading it. He really is like a tragic author. Like, he wrote such great adventure stories, but he was dealing with some really strong emotional feelings too, which I think probably made him even a better writer because of it. And these pictures are like the select few that have kind of remained. There's not many. I mean, there is a lot, but compared, but there's not as many as you would think. But they're very interesting I feel like they're like a glimpse into his persona and his personality, and maybe him as a growing author and a young boy in this time period that he was living in. This is an also a really good quote above, right underneath his profile picture that I put there. It's from Novelin Price. He wrote, or maybe she wrote, but either way, it's her opinion. Since they think he's crazy anyway, he'll show them just how crazy he could be. So this is very Robert Howard, pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable during that time. They thought he was not traditional because he didn't go out and work like the men in this time did. He wrote, that was his working. Not many people did that. It wasn't considered a profession really at that time, or a suitable profession for a young man during this time. So they already looked at him like he must be crazy. So he just embraced it and acted crazy, dressed crazy, pushed the boundaries a bit, and I think that was kind of cool and kind of funny because I can imagine him pushing these boundaries during that time and the reactions of the people around him, which that sounds absolutely hilarious. And one of the movies I love about him and Novelin is The Whole Wide World. And I think that's very telling in their relationship and a little glimpse of how he was as a person. Dying to read the book that it's based off. Novelin wrote a book called The One Who Walked Alone, and it's based on Robert E. Howard after he tragically took his own life. And they based the movie about that book, and the book is basically a collection of their letters, their interactions, her journals of when they dated, and it's just very telling about their relationship and him as a person. So I'm like dying to read that book, but I think it just made me like him even more. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of get this when I'm working on these pages. It's like how to do these pages, what to add to them. Like I get the whole borders and try and doodle, but I often feel at a loss of where the page should go as I'm doing them. They come out great, but I feel like maybe they're missing some of what the original purpose was. So I'm trying to figure out like how to have those ideas in the back of my mind, so when I work on a page, I'm less struggling of how to really go about it. Although this one came out really well, I'm actually like proud of this page and enjoying how it came out and the color scheme, and the border was really good. I like the border. I use my stencils for the border, just zigzags, but it's very drastic against the T background, so it really like pops. And here, over here on this left side where I'm working on this page, it's just him talking in a letter, writing about writing in that time period, and how he says most people write because their environments. I wrote in spite of it. And I think in a way he was kind of combating that idea of what a young man should be at that time. And I think that's what he's talking about there. And, saying how he really pushed to strengthen his writing and grow as a writer, but not at that day, there wasn't many that he could just sit there and be inspired by and learn more about the craft. So he was kind of like a self-taught in that way. But it speaks to the enjoying and the writing craft, and how you're ultimately responsible to push yourself and grow, and despite any odds against you, really just write. And I think that's really telling for him. So I thought that was really nice to include that. Although I will argue that he also wrote with his environment because of the time period he was in. That definitely influenced his writing as well. But the point that he was trying to make, I understand. Here I'm just doing little stencil doodles to just kind of connect the flow of this little quote that I took from him. In that top area where the little washi book is, I don't have an idea yet of what's gonna go there, but I want something there that I can like really like make pop, like focus on. And I haven't thought of it. So I just left it like that for now, and I figured when I have something I'll just put it there. This washi tape, this white washi tape is actually Jane Davenport washi tape, and it's very papery. And then I'm assuming it's meant to work with distress and painting, ink, and all that stuff, so that it picks it up. Although I had trouble with this when it kind of started to erase the image of the pen, so I went back and drew on top of it. But it's pretty interesting. I guess I have to learn to work with it. It also came with some blank white tape, which I'm sure will be good for labeling as well, since I used to just keep my prescription labels that were blank and using them. But it's also meant, I'm assuming, to be distressed and stuff too. So I think I'll have fun playing with that. But for now, I just used it as it is. I really like the border. It really pops. I don't really do a true border on every page, but this one it really pops. So I might have to do that for a couple more pages. So I really like the way it looks. You know, another thing I found interesting about him is that he often expressed that he was a failure or a hack in writing, but yet he was so successful and was widely published in Weird Tales, like, and people enjoyed his writing, yet he didn't think he was enough with the writing. And I think that's something all of us writers tend to really cling to, that idea, and we struggle with it. And it's pushing past that to really kind of break through and get to where you need to be. But I just thought it was interesting. He was very depressive, self-loathing, thought he was a failure, even though he has all this success during that time. Um, he still felt like he was dealing with like an imposter syndrome, like he was just kind of pretending, I guess you can say. So if you think about this popular author struggling with that feeling, and us writers who are just starting, it's not something that you're just dealing with. Like, I'm pretty sure most authors, and especially this author, really struggled with that idea of, is my writing good enough? Am I finding success in this? Why do I feel like I'm not there yet? And all those kind of feelings. So I thought that was very interesting that he felt those feelings that we often feel ourselves. So there's something to say about not letting that stop you from creating. Yeah, and I think at this point we're pretty much done with the page. I'm happy with how it came out. So we're going to kind of put a stop to this at this point with working on this book. But I really enjoyed working on this page, researching him, finding out more about what his thoughts were and his feelings were during writing, and looking at some of his writing as well. So I hope you learned something here today about him, or just enjoyed the process of me creating this page. If you do, just leave it below. Leave your thoughts below. Like if you want to, share if you want to, although you don't have to do those things. And stay tuned because there's a lot of different offers that I want to take a deep dive in. So we're gonna have more pages to come from. And yes, here I list my Instagram and our Facebook group. So please join if you haven't already.